is Hard Copy, May 2nd, 1990.
Hi, I'm Terry Murphy.
And I'm Alan Frio. It was a tragedy that shocked the nation. A truck smashed into a school bus in rural Alton, Texas, sending the bus plunging into a water-filled pit. 21 students died and others 60 were hurt. Before the victims were even identified, the lawyers descended like vultures. One lawyer reportedly told worried parents that he'd help look for their daughter, but only if they hired him. Another attached his contract to a condolence card, and still another passed out business cards at a child's funeral. Now the law is after the lawyers. It was a parent's worst nightmare, and it resonated through a whole nation. 80 children washed and dressed and sent off on their way to school one morning. Minutes later, the air filled with the sound of sirens. A day of horror, of shock. The parents of 21 victims learning the terrible news that their children would not be coming home again. And the world heard stories of heroism.
I saw the window right here. It wasn't that full, so I kicked the window. I got out, and I saw a hand like this, like looking, getting help. Then I took her out, and it was my sister. Then I saw another hand, and I took her out too. It was one of my cousins.
7 months have gone by since the disaster, and the rhythms of daily life have returned to this little town in South Texas. But when the attention of the world was focused here last September, something was happening that was missed in all the confusion. It has come out since then that from the very first day, while victims lay dying in the hospital and all eyes were on the rescue and relief efforts, lawyers had already begun to move in. Lawyers who can smell big money payoffs.
From the very first day, lawyers were on the scene, contacting people, friends, relatives of some of the bus victims. And they started making intrusions into their privacy to see if some of those people needed a lawyer.
According to the DA, the lure was the almighty dollar, millions of them. Millions of dollars for the families of the victims who can sue the soft drink company whose truck was involved in the accident. And millions more in attorney's fees for those lawyers who moved fast and signed up clients. They went to funeral homes, to hospitals. They sent friends of the families to speak on their behalf. In the end, the lawyers even began to sue each other for clients.
I feel that they took advantage of me because they knew in what state I was, you know, how I was feeling, how, you know, I think I was used. I was used.
Carmen Cruz lost one of her 7 children last September. Immediately, she began receiving phone calls, sympathy cards, and contracts from lawyers.
My first lawyer was going to let me have money to fix my car.
And the second lawyer wanted to give you money.
Right, to buy the car.
To buy a new car.
Right, that's what made it, you know, he made it sound like, hey, come on. I mean, I'm not going to give you money to fix your car. I'm going to give you money to buy your car. And then
before you signed the paper.
Before I signed, yeah, because that's why I remembered.
District Attorney Rene Guerra was so outraged by the stories he was hearing of lawyers trying to line up clients that he called a grand jury to investigate. So far, the grand jury has handed down 5 indictments for barratry, a little used statute in Texas. The common name for it is ambulance chasing. All 4 attorneys and 1 legal secretary who were indicted deny the charges, and they say they look forward to their day in court.
Did you go out to the crash site the day of the crash?
No way.
Did you send anybody out there?
No way. Could you read those contracts?
Nope.
Did the lawyers know you could read?
No, I didn't read them. Yeah, because the first lawyer, I told him I didn't know how to read it. He didn't even give me, you know, he didn't even say, well, go ahead and read it, because right away I told him I don't know how to read.
What did he say?
He said, go ahead and sign it. So I signed.
Well, I think that kind of solicitation in a hospital, at a funeral home, on the day of the accident, where the people are still traumatized by suffering the immediate and almost instant death of one of their members. The people are being approached when they're in trauma. They're not thinking legal system, legal rights, what's the best deal I can get under the circumstances.
Hard Copy offered the indicted attorneys the chance to tell their side. One agreed and then changed his mind when we arrived. The others refused to talk about the allegations against them. We then went to officials of the State Bar Association to ask if there was an investigation in progress. They said they could not comment publicly.
This is a shame on all lawyers here, isn't it?
Well, I hope not. The infraction is a misdemeanor. It's a Class A. It's up to 1 year in the county jail and a $2,000 fine.
A year in jail for attorneys.
Do you think that's going to happen?
You tell me.
I don't think so.
The local district attorney, Renee Guerra, says the Coca-Cola distributor whose truck hit the bus has done everything within its power to ease the suffering of the children and their parents. The company, without any publicity, offered to pay for the funerals and has been paying all the medical expenses of the survivors, including psychiatric counseling.